to feel helpless. And maybe I'm doing this because I am buffering, because service is a way to buffer from feeling emotions, it's a way to avoid feeling guilt or shame. Because standing up for yourself and saying no feels so uncomfortable, because feeling the discomfort of the negative emotions feels so awkward and so like you've never done it before, that I rather go avoid it, like look away, make a blind eye to this red flag that I'm feeling in my body, and just go in and help, because it's the right thing to do, right? Once you know that you're there, right? What do? So I also noticed that there's a little bit of judgment in the email. I noticed that there's some judgment towards this person, towards your ex. Before you can do anything, before you can know whether you should keep helping him or not, you need to drop the judgment, because the judgment won't allow you to show up the way you want to show up if you decide to serve him. And even in future relationships, future interactions with your ex, if you have judgment towards this person, guess what you're going to feel? You're going to feel resentment. You're going to feel disconnected, distant, and all your relationships and all your interactions are going to lead to drama and conflict. So a quick way to drop your judgment towards your ex is to do a brain dump. And this looks like putting a timer for 10 minutes and just writing nonstop. Pick up a pen, grab a paper, and just write thoughts and feelings about my ex, thoughts and feelings about my ex being injured, thoughts and feelings about the negative vibe that I get from him, whatever it is, and just write. Don't stop. Even if you can't see what you're writing, even if you don't know what you're saying, just keep writing. Whatever comes to you, write it for 10 minutes uninterrupted and do a brain dump. Get it all out. Once you get it all out, then I want you to ask yourself, how do you want to feel and think about your ex whether it's being in this situation or in general? How do you want to feel? Do you want to see him as a capable person, as a person that's resourceful, as a person that can figure things out, as a good human being, as a person who can heal, who can find a way to heal, as a good father, as a good person? How do you want to think and feel about this person? Do you want to feel love? Maybe that's too much. I know I had an ex before, and even though I remarried him, during those 3 years, I hated him. He annoyed me. He frustrated me, right? I know, I've been there, so I know. So sometimes maybe thinking I want to love him is too far out. Okay, so how do you want to feel? Do you want to feel neutral about your ex? Once you pick the thoughts about your ex, how do you want to feel about him? What are the thoughts that are, and once you have those thoughts and feelings, how do you want to act when you see him? How do you want to act in the situations that may arise? The reason why I want you to think in advance is so you will know how to be in control next time this happens. And so you can start practicing these feelings and these thoughts about your ex every time you think about him. Trust me, when I wanted to work on my marriage and save my marriage, I had to learn to change every single thought I had about my husband. We weren't married at the time. Excuse me. So I had to learn to change him from he doesn't love me, he is lazy, he doesn't care, to he loves me, he supports me, he is an amazing father, he works hard, right? I had to change those thoughts. I had to think of those thoughts. I had to think of thoughts that I liked, that felt good for me, so then I could start replacing them for the negative thoughts, or else I would not be here. I would not be married had I not taken the initiative to change those thoughts. So if you want to have a better relationship with your ex, and it sounds like you do because you care about what your son does. You care that he is the father of your son, and you care about what your son thinks about you too, and you want to create a warm environment when it comes to his father and you. So it sounds like you want to work on that relationship. So if you do, start thinking about the thoughts and maybe write them down. I would, and feelings. And then how do you want to act around him? Start practicing those every day. Every time you have a negative thought, like he has never healed, that has a negative connotation. He has so much hate. He has resentment. Those are all negative. Change those to positive. He's capable. He knows how to feel. He knows how to work things out. Change him to thoughts that you feel comfortable with. I'm just giving you ideas, and then go with it. And then how do you want to feel around him? Start practicing. How does that feel? How does it feel to feel neutral around him? Or how does it feel to feel love when you see him? Where does it feel in your body? Where would you feel it? What would it make you want to do? Then I want to ask you, if you didn't go to the rescue, if you didn't play the role of the rescuer and just felt those uncomfortable emotions, what would that feel like in your body? And what would you do? What would you do if you just allowed yourself to feel those emotions in your body? Whenever something happened with your ex or with that person that triggers you all the time, and I know we all have someone that constantly triggers us. Okay, I know. Sometimes it's our husband. Sometimes it's one of our siblings. Sometimes it's one of our parents, a friend. When you're being triggered, how would it feel like to, instead of going to the role of the victim or the rescuer or the persecutor and create more drama in the relationship, how would it feel like in your body if you just allowed yourself to feel the discomfort of being triggered? What would you do? Instead of going and rescuing this person, what would you do? So the next thing I want to ask you to do is to ask. Have you asked him if he wanted your help? Have you asked, hey, do you need help? How does help look like to you? Is it me going every day? Is it me just dropping off food? Is it me helping you with bandages? Is it me coming over? Is it me helping you find someone that can help you? What does help look like? If you do need help, if he says, yes, I need your help. Yes, I want your help. Okay, what would that look like? And then you get to decide instead of guessing and assuming, which we all know, when you assume, you make an ass of yourself. So instead of assuming, ask, do you need my help? And if you do, what does that look like? Yes, detail, ask questions so you can get as much detail as you can. So in order to get out of the rescuer role and become the opposite, which is the coach or the support system for this person, what we want to learn is to see people as capable. You can say something as, I care about you and I know you are capable. I know you can figure this out. And throw the ball back at them. Give the responsibility back to them and help them, empower them by having that responsibility. So then they decide. So then they can take action and gain empowerment by fixing their own problems. Also, in order for you to become a support or a coach for this person, instead of a rescuer or the savior, don't do for others what they can do for themselves. In this case, do you know if he needs the help? Does he really need that help, or can he really do it? Sometimes people can do things on their own if we just give them space. We like to see, if we like to see people as helpless, if we just allow them and start seeing them as capable and give that space, you might be surprised to see what people can do. Also, be willing to listen without taking on other people's problems and pains. When you hear a problem, when you hear someone struggling, just listen. I know you're dying to go and rescue them. I know you're dying to say something because you have the answer. You have the medicine. You have the antidote to all their pains. You can get it all. You can get rid of everything. If they just listened to you, if they just followed your steps, if you could just help them or do it for them, they would be fine, right? But part of being a great support and a coach and a mentor for someone and a great friend, spouse, parent is to actually just be willing to listen and sit with the discomfort of not offering advice, tools, or help unless they ask for help, which is the next thing. Allow time for others to ask you for help. Allow them to be the ones that come and ask you. When my kids present me a problem, in order for me to teach them to start asking for help, instead of being the victims and just going to people in their lives, because if they do it with me, they'll do it in other relationships. Instead of just presenting problems to everyone, friends, boyfriends, girlfriends, whoever they interact with, to just be ready and be willing to come up with either the solution or ask for help. So what I do is when my kids bring me a problem, I ask them, so what does that mean? Or, so what are you asking me? Or so how are you going to solve that? So what is it that you really need from me? Is there something you need from me? So I always come back to them with a question. And then they come back and they tell me, oh, well, what I need is this. I need you to go to make me a sandwich, or I need you to help me with homework, or I need you to help me resolve this. So I always teach my kids, if you're going to bring up a problem, be sure to either know how to ask for help or come up with the solution yourself. So if you are listening, if you're being an active listener, then you are most likely giving that space for people to ask for help and allow them to take care of their needs and listen to their instinct, listen to what is right for them, what they should do, instead of waiting for you to resolve their problems. Find the support instead of rescuing them. Be that support. Be there, be that foundation, so then they can believe in themselves, so they can have someone that believes in them. So, because most of the time the victims don't feel like they can do it themselves because there's rescuers all around them. But if they have a foundation in you of someone that believes in them, someone that sees them as capable and independent and being able to do things on their own, then they know that they have someone to rely on.